All right. So we are here this evening to talk about the Siders case this far. I'm going to go ahead and get started. We're going to start from the beginning with what brought the police to the house. And I'm going to get that pulled up real quick. So the Siders investigation, they went to a house in Vinton County, Ohio, and they were serving a search warrant on a man named Gary Siders Jr. I was actually an arrest warrant. I misspoke. 2 6. Hold on a minute. Okay. So they have put a gag order, but I have some stuff that we'll look at real quick before we go over to Plunder's Patreon. Oops, wrong one. So there was 4 of these. These are public indecency charges. There was one for May 23rd. There's one for 4 different days. So they went there on June 30th to the address in Vinton County, Ohio, to serve these public indecency charges on Gary Siders Jr. When they got there, they realized that Gary Siders Jr. lived in a house with his mother and father and his wife, Elizabeth. There was also 16 children in that house in a room, ages 18 to 1 year old. And some of them couldn't speak, some of them couldn't write their name, and the room was apparently abhorrent. So at this point, they got all the children out of the house, arrested everybody, and took them to jail. And they were charged with 16 counts of, I'm not sure, charges against the children. We'll talk about that. Hey, Charisma, Crystal Burns, Southern Cats, good to see you. Nona Rocks, Rose Baby, good to see you. I'm glad that y'all are here. So we have, let me grab my notebook real quick. Basil is in my room, and I might lose my voice a little bit, so hopefully y'all can work with me on this stream. I'm just going to use a marker, I suppose. So Gary Sider Sr. had a public indecency charge from May 23rd. This one is also May 23rd. Tells me the fines and things. May 23rd. There were several different dates. We've talked about it. You can go to any of the streams that I've done on this previously and find all of this. They went to serve these search warrants. They found the children. Everybody went to jail, and they had to life flight the 2 1-year-old twins out of there to get them help at the hospital. I think all the children were taken to the hospital because of the state of the house. We can jump over and talk about that briefly, and then we will look at the booking videos that Plunder got. For the indecency charges, there's going to be a hearing on July 23rd at 10:15 a.m. That's the pretrial. And on June 30th, 2026, the case was filed with the court. Now we will jump over here and look at my drive. This is Gary Siders Jr. This is the father of the 16 children. This is Elizabeth Siders. That is the mother of the 16 children. And then this is Gary Siders Sr. and Christine Siders. These are the parents of Gary Siders Jr. Here they appear to be at some kind of park, I'm assuming for some kind of function. They look happy, healthy. Not at all like they look in their booking photos. Here is a side-by-side of Elizabeth Siders. That is her in her booking photo, and this was her from high school. So you can tell here that at some point, somebody, herself or somebody else, took good care of her. She's got her hair highlighted, makeup on, looks very beautiful. At this point, she looks very worn out, very thin, very pale, but she has given birth to 16 children. 4 sets of twins, 1 set died. Now, this is allegedly photos of the room and things like where the children were found, and you can see the mattresses, the feces on the bed, all the stuff on the floor. Just absolutely disgusting and very sad situation. Here's another photo of Gary Siders Sr. and his wife, which would be Gary Siders Jr.'s mom. That it looks like a cigarette in her hand, and that is a gas tank there. I think that's a Dollar Tree bag, so it looks like they just got back from Dollar Tree. They do appear to be outside of the house that the police busted into. Hey, Max, good to see you. Wabi Sabi, good to see you. Cat's Eye, good to see you. Virginia, good to see you. Pointer Lover, good to see you. A little bit of Lisa, good to see you. I'm glad you're here. Okay. This is allegedly inside the house. I'm going to say allegedly because I'm not positive. Man, look at the walls just tore off. If that is inside the house, that's insane. That appears to be a bed, a medical bed, or a bed and a medical tray, like you get from the hospital. I wonder if this is the room where the children were. That's just horrific. Here is another photo of allegedly inside the house. You can see there just appears to be stuff stacked everywhere. I don't think this is the house because the siding, the house looks different. I think that was the Emmanuel Haro house. I'm not positive, though. I could be wrong on that. Here is a side shot of.
See if you can see in a window. Hurry,
hold on. I don't even got my headphones in. So here is somebody going up on the property of the house.
See if we can see in a window. Hurry, super fast.
Yeah.
That's inside. That's the living.
So that's showing inside the house some of what it looks like, but this is after they've gone in and got the children out. Thank y'all for being here and hanging out with me today.
That's the living room.
There's more of inside the house, and this is after they've gone in and got stuff out. You can see like a baby crib and just trash everywhere.
All right.
I think this is the back porch area that we saw was disgusting before. Oh my God. Oh my God. Did y'all see those roaches? Oh my God. Oh my God. Look. Oh, Jesus. Oh my Lord Jesus in heaven above. So this is like trash that looks like a milk jug that's been smushed. Oh my God, y'all. Oh my God. Hey, Karen Breaks It Down. Good to see you. Thank you for subscribing. It's nice to meet you. Hey, Sam Wilkins. Good to see you. Hey, Miss Scorpio Rising. It's good to see you, love. I'm glad you're here. Definitely a hoarder, but watch these roaches. Watch the bugs. Oh my Jesus. Look. And she lifts it up. You see all them bugs right there? They're running. That's some kind of like hoodie or something. That's a smushed water bottle. Like straws from like them Capri Suns or juice boxes. Look at, oh my God. So they got roaches in this house too with these baby, like 1-year-old. Oh, Jesus Christ in the morning. Look at it. Oh. The pure, yeah, so that's the room we just saw the pictures of. The fucking walls are torn out. I'm assuming this is where the children were. My moderator got this and put it there for me, I'm assuming. Hey, Miss Aries, good to see you. Yeah, oh my God is right. Conscious 700, good to see you. Nice to meet you. My moderator shares this stuff with me, and I think she got it. I'm thinking this is the room where the children were, and you can see the sheetrock is pure tore off the fucking walls. Jesus. There's crates, maybe from the food bank. The electricity is on. Okay, so so this is a set of stairs right here, and people said that I've heard that allegedly the children were kept in the basement. And so if these stairs go up and it looks like they go into the kitchen, and old houses like that usually have the basement off from the kitchen. And with the considering that this is going downstairs and right there at the door you can see the cabinet and the drawer and then the cabinets on the wall, that looks like the kitchen. So I'm assuming this is the basement and it is where they kept the children. We've got a layout of the house we can look at in just a second as well.
Hello?
It appears to just go out on the back porch though, unless like I guess it's like a lower level, but not, so they call it a basement. But like, do you know how like in a house you'll have like the main level? Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to hit my microphone. I'm sorry if that was loud. You'll have the main level and then it'll go out on the front porch. And then it's like you can step down a little bit and you go out on the back porch. I'm assuming that's what this is. I'm Corey, I don't think so, because if they tore it out for mold, I would think that the floors would be a little bit cleaner. Considering the parents that they like the children couldn't even talk, some of them couldn't even write their names, things like that. I highly doubt they would have tore the sheetrock out because of mold and the trash everywhere and the roaches and the fact that the children can't even speak. I don't think that they would be they were really caring about mold. The police or anybody working on the house would have picked the trash up before they went to tearing the walls out for mold. So I'm assuming that the walls kind of rotted or the kids tore them out, because if they're in that room just 24/7 and have nothing to do, they're going to start tearing out literally the walls. Yeah, I think they need a hazmat suit, a 12 by 12 room. And that looks like a 12 by 12 room to me. That's what I heard too, Karen. Zoe, good to see you. Little bit of Lisa said, I think I saw a washing machine turned over on its front. Now, who does that? Did they knock it over or did someone come in and do it for a picture? I don't know. If the washing machine was plugged in, I would assume somebody knocked it over just going through there. But if not, then they might have knocked it over and just left it there. I try to be very careful with this because having 16 children, you would obviously have some type of postpartum depression going on. I don't know what she says because I don't have sound. Y'all might have. Let me make sure that my headphones are connected. Nope, they're not connected. Hold on. Connect to my headphones. Give me just a minute. It's going to be stupid. Hold on, y'all. I got to connect my headphones because y'all might be hearing stuff that I'm not. Basil chewed my microphone cord. Little poopy head. And so I had to take my headphone cord. Okay. And use it as my microphone cord. Now,
this is where the two videos of the
I still can't hear anything. Let me refresh this real quick. Where was that video? I think it's this one. No, that's the room. That's the room, the 12 by 12 room, I guess the basement where the children stayed, because that definitely appeared to be the room that was off from the kitchen. And there's a baby doll there. So I'm assuming this is where the children were. And you can see there's exposed wires. There's exposed wires there. It looks like there's mold on the wall for sure, but like the sheetrock tape being torn off. Lord of mercy, it was this one.
See if we can see in a window.
All right, I still don't have any audio. Y'all let me know if y'all got any. Yeah.
So this is where
I can't wrap my head around this either. They probably did set on those
just the outside
crates and chairs,
the window
crates as chairs.
Shannon, and then
so I can't hear that. I don't know if y'all can, but I'm going to skip past her talking. Gracious. Look at that. I wish I could zoom in. We'll have to get our heads real close to the screen like Julie does. Look at this bottom right picture. It's just straight trash. That's where they picked it up and all them roaches scattered. And I guess that's under the stuff because it looks like stuff is stacked up on the floor because some of them mats and foam things go all the way up to the crates. You know, there's 16 children in there. I bet some of them were sleeping on top of them crates. You heard the voice? Okay. So I'll take it back and let you hear her talking. I might not be able to hear it, but I'll let y'all hear it.
Of the Siders home was originated from.
Mine's not
the
working.
first one of just the outside and in through the window was from Sierra Shannon.
Now I can
And then
hear
the
it.
second one came from Amanda Hogue. And I'm just posting these again because in the photo I shared after the 2 video clips, you can see the same wagon on the porch from the police photos. That picture of the back porch came from the release photos from the police. You can see that that's the back porch. It's the same, has the same things on the back porch as in the police photo. You guys can believe.
I agree that that is the police photo. I can hear it now. Hey, Kelly, did you see the nightmare video of the 2 guys that went into the house? No, I didn't. My moderator put this on here. I hadn't even seen this one yet.
Believe that these are not real. I really don't care. They most definitely are real, and it's absolutely disturbing and disgusting that little babies laid on that ground. Did you see the mattresses in the video? There was like 2 or 3 small, dingy, dirty mattresses. And I'm assuming that's where a lot of the children slept, and that's the same room that all those bugs and everything were crawling in. As far
So yeah, and like you can see that mattress over there and that little like bedside table, but here you can see these nasty foam things. That one has a sheet on it. This one doesn't, and like a corner's missing. And like there's like this, there's some kind of blanket over the crates. Like I'm thinking the kids were sleeping on these foam things and on the crates. What couldn't fit in the bed because 16 children aren't fitting in that bed. But if you think about it, they're not fitting in that bed and this either. There still would need to be more room. Like, damn. Could you imagine being the police officer to walk in and serve the indecent exposure charges on this guy, 4 of them, and then you walk in and you find this with all those children in there? My God.
As far as I know, no one has actually walked through the rest of the house. If there's any videos or pictures posted of any of the house that we haven't seen, I will post them. But as for now, this is where the videos originated from, and they most definitely are real.
Okay, and then this was from, or some of the pictures at least was from, that one's from Amanda Hozg on Facebook, I'm assuming. This one is from Sierra Shannon on Facebook. Unfucking real. So far we've got, go back. Hold on just a minute. All right, let me pull this back up. So far we've got that they were going to serve an indecent exposure charge, and then they walk into this house of horrors and they find all of this shit. Here's another photo of inside the house. If I had to assume, I would think this is where the grandparents were, like some kind of living room. They appear to be hanging clothes, so they might have had a washing machine but no dryer. And you can just see there's trash all over the floor. So if they're living like this too, then they didn't see an issue with it, or they just didn't clean up. And so the children living like, I mean, it's not like they had everything clean and then the children were living in filth. They treated the children the same way they treated themselves, which is going to tell me that Elizabeth was probably really depressed and just didn't clean up, and the elderly were too elderly to clean up. Where are the cushions for this nasty ass couch? And there is the washing machine turned over on its front. Considering that there appears to be some type of towel right there on it, I would think that it's been that way for a minute. Look at the ceiling. I mean, look at, this is one of those sliding doors that separates the room, and it's got like glass panels. Look at the black on the side of that door. My goodness. Catering, good to see you. I mean, they might have tossed the house. The cops might have tossed the house, but like that was, I don't know that they tossed it much because it looks like it's been that way. Like I mean, yeah, they might have moved some stuff, but I think it was like that for the most part. Okay. Here's a photo from that window with the cat in there. They talked about having a lot of cats. We've all seen that one. This is a 5-minute video of the house. I don't hear anything from this so far. So they're walking around the house.
I have slowed down the clip
Oh,
of the
there we
full
go.
walkthrough of the Siders House of Horror. I know the very first clip that we seen was very
Hey, Corey.
fast and the filming was terrible. So I've slowed it down so we can see in slow
I'm with
motion
you
a
a little
better
bit. I
view
don't
of
think they
everything
did
that was
either.
in
Hey,
that house.
Cindy.
As far as I can tell, there is one couch, a few little mats. I would not even consider them mattresses. And the worst part is those mattresses are in that room where all of those bugs are. In this video, I'm going to just merge together all the videos that we actually have of inside of the home. We have the one video of the lady
That's a good
walking through the
question,
back
Kelly
door,
J.
and it's verified that that is the home just by the outside of the house. You see
Max, the cops went to arrest somebody at their house and they found 16 children living in this house and they couldn't, some of them couldn't talk, some of them couldn't write their name. The classic one, good to see you. Looks like a dump site, not a house. I agree. Hey, Cracker Jacks. Good to see you. I've been watching my mail. I haven't seen anything yet. I know you said you had sent something. She has them babies like a mama cat. Yeah. And they're saying she might be pregnant again. We're going to look at the booking videos and see what we think. The one daughter Snapchat showed the cats, and even the cat looked pregnant or it had just had kittens. Yeah, she's not. I mean, I don't find that unbelievable. Hey, Kim. Yeah, I hope the Lord saves them too and gets them in a better situation than they were.
you see the same wagon and the same rake that was in the police photos that were released of that back porch. You can tell that the full walkthrough is of the house also just by
Right, a little bit.
you can see the outside the crime scene tape. You can
Good to
see
see you.
the same front room that was
Feel
verified by the
sweaty. I'm
previous
sick,
owner
y'all. I'm
that that is
sorry.
the house.
Hold on,
It's
let
the
me.
front room. It's the same photos that the New York Post posted. Everything lines up. Everything aligns.
So the New York Post, it is, she's saying this is the same photo. It looks like the same photo with the same everything that the New York Post posted. Because you have to be careful. People will come out here and post fake ass photos. And she's saying that it does appear to be the same photo that the New York Post got. I believe that that's the house. But see, here you can at least see the floor with all the trash. Like there's a little bit of the floor there. Down there in that room, you can't see
That
shit.
is the house. It's the front room. It's the same photos that the New York Post posted. Everything lines.
This is from the New York Post, and it says the only signs of decor or furniture in the front room appear to be a bizarre framed painting of a lion and a stained chest freezer. And that's what that is, a weird ass picture of a fucking lion and then a small deep freezer. Like they said that some of those children were on the brink of death. I'm wondering how she kept those children alive for so long. I'm glad she did. She lost two that were conjoined twins. I'll grab those photos. Yes, welcome everybody. Hey, Abraham. I didn't see you come in. Hey, good to see you. I'm so glad for you, Max. I know you'll enjoy that. Corey said, with all them children and adult, it wouldn't not take long to have a messy house, but parts are sickening. Yeah, it wouldn't take long to clean it up either. I've got 4 teenagers in a house and they have chores.
Everything lines up. Everything aligns. It matches. This is the Siders house. And I will say again, it was not me that went inside and got these videos. The video.
And my house isn't much smaller than theirs. It's a little bit smaller, I'd say. Well, I don't know. It might be a little bigger, but my house don't look nothing like that. I wouldn't let it. Hell to the no.
From TikTok was actually sent to me in a private message, and I did slow that video down because it is very hard to see. The video is very fast and it's kind of just all over the place. So hopefully this helps everyone see exactly what is on these floors, these walls, everything. These children lived in absolute filth, and there is no amount of poverty, mental health. There's no amount of anything. Nope. There's no excuse to why these children were living in this house. I think a lot of people are forgetting that it was not 1 or 2 kids. It was 16 children, 16, some as young as 1 year old. They were just born last year in 2025. These babies and children were living in absolute filth. I cannot imagine the health problems they had, living and sleeping and having roaches crawl all over you through the night. Who?
And then the police said that some were on the brink of death. Allegedly, we know that she has had, there's 16 children that were removed. We know she's had 18 children because of the set of twins. And allegedly, it might be 19 children because allegedly she had a baby when she was 13 and she might be pregnant now. We're going to look more into that in just a second. Kelly said to Lisa said, Corey, you are right. With parenting, it wouldn't take long to clean up either. But none of that was happening. Exactly. Kelly said, true, a lot of people are trying to say it just got this bad recently, but if they didn't grow up this way, then I would think the older kids would have been helping out. I don't know. Yeah. How big is the house? Well, I've got a map. We'll look at the map next. The layout of the house. I've got one that loves to clean. Like anytime I need something clean, she will clean it for me. So if they're brought up cleaning and living in a clean environment, they like to have a clean environment, and they would probably try their best to keep it somewhat clean. Um, mine have their own little personal areas. I don't know how you would have a personal area in a 12 by 12 room with 16 children, but if they don't have their personal areas, they get angry. They get upset if one of the siblings goes and takes their makeup or whatever, because they've been raised to keep their stuff put up and keep it clean and keep it nice. Some of these children couldn't even speak or write their name. So I don't think a lot of parenting was going on. Postpartum depression, I think, played a big role, but there's also other people in that house that could have helped clean. What was Gary Siders Jr. doing other than exposing himself in the front yard? You know what I mean? Like, if he's going to lay down and help her make all them babies, why isn't he, what the fuck is he doing? Because I'm going to tell you also, Mr. Speculating works, God, like Monday through Saturday a lot of the time. But if he came home and the house was a mess, he'd be asking me what the fuck I was doing during the day, why I haven't cleaned up. And if I was sick or something like that, he would still clean it up. But he's working. He would be like, need to clean up a little bit. It's getting a little messy.
Who really knows what those children are living with
more
in that
information.
Home, what kind of real health problems they are facing
yes.
now, and probably facing the rest of their lives, because they have had to live, sleep, breathe, and eat in that home. There's no excuse for making your children live in this. There's no excuse. You can sit here and comment mental health, poverty, everything you want to comment. I don't agree with you anymore.
Poverty should not play a role in this either. There are people that are extremely impoverished and have the cleanest houses you'd ever see. So this is a slowed down walkthrough of the house, I mean. See, up here, you can at least see some of the floors. There's the walls that appear to be torn up. There's a mattress that we just saw right there. Why isn't that mattress down in the room with the children? Why? I mean, it's flipped over on its side right there. That one that's stained. It might, oh no, that might be a piece of sheetrock. Now that I'm looking at it, I think that's a piece of the sheetrock they tore off the wall. Yep. There's clothes, a TV stand, boxes. That's a box from like Sam's Club or something, but you get those at food banks too. Look at that room. It's just got trash in it. What is that, a fucking cat right here? Or a stuffed animal? That appears to be a stuffed animal. Looks like a skunk or something. A box of crackers or cookies, Mountain Dew. Jesus, look at that pile of trash, y'all. I think it played a role, but not to this. I mean, there's no excuse for this. Abraham said exactly. And where were they making those babies? There's no area where bugs weren't crawling all over you. Good point and good question. Right. Yeah. My man would be like, ma'am, you need to clean up a little bit. It's getting a little bit messy now. You got to clean up. You don't see a lot of toys. You don't. There's a few stuffed animals here and there, but not a lot. It's sad. I think the mother and grandfather, the grandfather has obviously got some issues going on. The grandmother, I'm not sure. The mother was, I think I've actually heard, now that I think about it, that the grandmother had dementia. So maybe all three of them were suffering some mental health issues. But what was Gary Siders Jr. doing other than exposing himself in the front yard? It is no excuse for it. I mean, if you ain't even got a clean spot to lay down and make a baby, I'll be damned if I'd be laying down and making another baby. You know what I mean? There was a couple of baby dolls, and I've seen the stuffed animals. If they're up here, though, and the children haven't been out of the room for 4 years, when did they get to play with them? And they probably got them from like the angel tree thing or whatnot, where you do stuff for children at Christmas, and they probably didn't put all of them on there. Because from what we heard, there was a few that would go out with them to Dollar General and things. There's that sliding window pane door and the washing machine. The washing machine does appear to have stuff stacked on top of it, so it must have broke and they just left it there. This is insane. There's a big, in that quarter is one of the big dinosaurs. I'll try to pause it where you could see it. Right here, that's one of the big stuffed dinosaurs. So I'm assuming they had some stuff. Jenny Jen, thank you so much for being here and being a member for 21 months. You're freaking amazing. Thank you for sharing that milestone with us. A1 from day one. She says, hey, everyone, hit that like button. Yes, please hit the thumbs up on your way in or your way out. You are amazing. Thank you so much, Jenny Jen. It's so good to see you.
Amazing.
And Mayla's mom, it's so good to see you as well. Casual Art, good to see you. It is very sad for the children. Toss the fucking trash outside at least. Yep. Think they're dumpster divers? Maybe. There is a bottle of bleach on the counter right next to a half bag of pipe tobacco. Interesting. I didn't even catch that. Yeah, it looks like they gave up. Yep. Grandmom to the kids got stuff from the party, or from the pantry often. Yeah, they might not have had a trash service, but if they did, and it looks like that, that is sick. They needed, I mean, but you got to take the trash off. Like, there's still no excuse, and like, they could at least put it outside. You know, I'm sorry, but I don't think this case is evil. I think there's a lot of information we don't know. That's true. I think it's next to the refrigerator. I wonder if the refrigerator even worked. Yep. And they could burn it. Hey, Hannah. Andrew and Tristan Tate arrested in Miami on extradition order to UK for offenses including against children. What the fuck? I had to tell Mr. Speculating. I have to get him in a minute. Thank you for that information, Hannah. It's good to see you. See, there's something pink on the floor right here. Some kind of little toy or something. Right there. So, I mean, I think they had some type of toys. That little round thing, unless it's some kind of cushion. A broken box fan. Like, that window doesn't even have a window pane in it. How are they keeping the house cool in the summer and hot in the winter? With all these windows that appear to be busted open. She got stuff from the pantry often with a couple of the kids. The people at the pantry said they looked clean. Interesting. Thank you for that. You know what? That would make sense. She might have went downhill mentally after losing the twins. Absolutely. That could make sense. That looks like the floor is coming up here, like where there was linoleum or tile or something, and it's starting to get ripped up or just come off. Damn. Yeah, it's just trash. Yep, there's the bleach and the pipe tobacco and a crock pot. Somebody was trying to clean or attempting to at least. What is there? Is that 2 stoves? That's sitting on a table of some sort. There's roaches crawling up the wall there. There's a sink and a little pantry area. Oh, okay, that's the stove, I guess. But there's like even the burner's missing from the damn stove. Right here, this front one, that one looks like it's missing. Looks like it might have caught on fire, like the front of the door is missing. Holy hell. House shifting can cause damage. That's true. No, I didn't see the mold on the fridge. I don't even know if I've seen the fridge yet. Let me back that up. There's bugs crawling up the wall. Oh, Jesus. No, I haven't seen the fridge yet. They appear to have some soup in the cabinets that have been torn off. Looks like tomato soup or something. There's a can of applesauce. I've got the same can of applesauce. Look at the door. Oh. Is this a bathroom? Yep. And it had been redone. Like, that's nice looking tile, or what's supposed to look like tile on that wall right there anyway. Why is there a bathroom right beside the kitchen? I mean, I guess because it's an old house. That bathtub is somewhat clean compared to the rest of the house where they bathe in the children. Yes, it was trash on the stove. There was some pantry food. Yep. The fridge had some food in it, milk. You'll get to it. Okay. Oh, God. This is awful. Oh, I knew it. I was wondering if the toilet was clean. I knew it wasn't. Look at that brown water in the toilet. Oh, Jesus. Oh, yep, here's the refrigerator. There's shit under it. They got roaches that bad. Roaches will get in your electrics shit and they will fuck it up. They will fuck your shit up. Like, if you see one, you better get to spraying and get the things that keep them from reproducing. And you can live in an area your neighbor can have them and they'll come right on over and start hanging out at your house. You got to spray outside, inside, and put the shit that keeps them from reproducing. Of course, I mean, first you'd have to actually get all that shit the fuck out of there. Roaches can come in on bags of potatoes, on any of them cardboard boxes, in boxes like overseas. Mr. Speculating watches a lot of videos of like catamarans and stuff. He wants to get a catamaran and sell the seven seas, but and over in other countries when they get canned goods, they have to take the paper off of the actually, excuse my cigarette, I'll show you. Because this is the same applesauce that was in her refrigerator, in their pantry. Oh, I hit my mic. I'm sorry if that was loud. So, like here, that's the applesauce that you saw in their pantry. But overseas and stuff, they have to, before they bring it on the boat, they have to rip the paper off. Like this, you have to take the paper off because there will be like roaches behind the paper. And you take it on the boat without it looking like this with the paper off, and then you write on the top what it is. You'll have roaches and shit. So like they can hide in anything. You got to be very careful. But first, like I said, in order to get rid of the roaches, you'd have to clean all that shit up, you know? That's a good question, catering winch. Damn, if they didn't have a warrant for Gary Jr., how long would this have gone on? Would one of the kids actually died? You know? Because they said that the baby, I think it was 2 1-year-olds, were on the brink of death. Considering that you can still see the floored subparts of the house, I am wondering if when she lost the twins, all of this got worse. Is that a, hold on a minute. Yeah, I think that's a tray for a high chair. And we saw a high chair in one of the rooms. So at one point, she probably did take care of her children. Oh, God, look at the roaches. This is the room where the children were actually at. Hold on. Look at them. Did you see them? Look at them running. Oh, Jesus. That was the door. Wait a minute now. If the children tore off the sheetrock right there, does that go like under the house? Because you know them children would have crawled under there. They if them holes are in that room where them children were, you know they crawled under there. You lost audio? Can you hear me? Hold on. Which one was it? Um, I don't even know which one it was. Well, it was the end of the video. We'll find it back in a minute. But my question is, does this go under the house? And if so, were those children crawling through there and going under the house? Because it looks like there's shit under there. There's exposed wires right there. So I wonder if those children were crawling up under the house. And that could be where they got sick. Okay. The walls look cut. Let's see. Hey, scratch the paint. Some of them do. Some of them look ripped off right there. Like that's ripped. Like, the kids just tearing the wall. Because, like, if there's water or there's juice or trash or, whatever, it's going to make the wall kind of wet and moist. And then children being down there just in that room with nothing to do. I mean, eventually, yeah, they would tear. I mean, it's like very feral children. They can't even speak. They can't write their names. They've not been taught how to do anything. So yeah, they're going to tear up shit. They're going to tear up the walls, and it looks like it goes under the house, and that's the siding for the house. God, in the morning. Mm. If you look closely, you can see the brick that's from a fireplace. Yep. In the other bedroom. Yep. And all those crates. Like, there is no floor here, guys. It's just foam and the crates. And then that box of trash. You see how this box is sitting on the floor, but everything looks, level with that? Like, you can't even see the floor. Here's the layout of the house. So the area is 1,336 feet. The basement is 518, I guess. This is the back porch. This is, wait a minute, hold on. Let me remember correctly. I'm pretty sure that this is okay. This is that back porch where number E, the light blue, is that back porch where the trash is. This B that's red, that's that porch you see at the front. And where it says 16, that's that window you see the cat sitting in. I think this is the upper floor. And then, like, right here is the kitchen. This one that says C is going to be the bathroom. And then this is probably going to be the laundry room area. But this map does not show the basement area, which would be, I guess, off of here and down the steps from the kitchen and under this. Not under it, but like beside it, I guess. I don't think them children were in that 10 by 10 room with the 30 by 20 area. But I think that's definitely the bathroom. Maybe this area goes down to the basement or something. Has 0 bedroom, 1 bath. Fucking insane, man. I think that's just a screenshot. Mm. Where's that video? Yeah, this is that video. Okay, we'll go back to the end.
Hello.
There wasn't audio up until this point. All of this is quiet. Like there's no audio for this. And then when we get, after it does the TikTok thing, we can hear it right here. So right now there's no sound. No, I don't think they will. Now there's sound. It really is, Zan. Good to see you. That absolutely goes up under the house, and that brick area is the fireplace from the other room. I can show you better in the picture, but that brick right there, it goes to the fireplace in the other room, and this goes up under the house. And them children were going up under the house. You know they were. If they're tearing the fucking
Hello.
they're going up under the house. This, like the wall's missing, and there's some kind of clothing hanging from the hole in the wall. Wow. And then that's the back porch. Jesus. There's the front, and you can see some of the stuff they tore out of this room. There's the back. Wonder if that, I'm assuming this is the wall to that basement area, and if it goes up under the porch, maybe? But I don't see that fireplace. Where's the fireplace at? All right, so they were taken to jail. We'll read some of these things and before we go. Hey, Lori, good to see you. What jail they're in is clear, then their house is sad as fuck. The jail they're in is clear, then their house, that's sad as fuck. Yeah. Part of a cellar, maybe dirt. Okay. So maybe that's where they were hanging out at. Abraham said these guys posted a video of where they lift the mattress and the amount of bugs that come crawling out was unbelievable. Rabbit showed it. I believe it. I could not. So this is supposed to be allegedly her brother. And he wrote, my sister just wrapped up her life due to indoctrination. It is 100% real. 20 kids and younger than me. The math equals immature piece of shit man involved. I met this dude a couple of months ago. Shook my head like a baby. Shook my hand like a baby would. Super soft hands. Definitely never worked a day in his life. I should have took him out that night. I was thinking about it, but my sister, I was happy to see. Been 15 years. You lost touch with your family and followed another, and look what happened. So what's the indoctrination? To be a trad wife and to have as many children as you can, but he can't help her keep the fucking house clean? So this is a statement from somebody. I don't know who they are. I'm going to change my banner real quick. And let you know that this is Facebook or X. This person could be my next door neighbor and never met these people a day in their life, or they could be, everything they say could be true. We're going to read it so that we get the understanding of the story before we move on. Excuse me. You'll have to, I'm sorry. My throat is hurting. We have a strep throat in the house right now, so I apologize, but I'm going to do the best I can. It says, I'm making this post for the sake of truth and truth only. But for clarity, I'll go ahead and say this about the situation that I'm moving on because I have to. Okay. My computer said, nope, you're moving on right motherfucking now. Lots of you know that Lynn, aka Christina Siders, is my grandmother, Diana's first cousin. So that's the grandmother in the house. Elizabeth Siders, maiden name Russell, which is the mother to the 16 children, is also my daughter's first cousin due to her, for a lack of better word, sperm donor side of her DNA. My daughter's donor and Elizabeth's mom are siblings. Those, Jesus, my computer does not want me to read this. Goodness gracious. Okay. These are some pictures of Elizabeth that I took right before or right around the time her and Gary Jr. met, when she had her whole life ahead of her. While part of me wonders if she wasn't mentally conditioned to think that this was okay, the mom in me knows it doesn't matter because there's absolutely no excuse for dragging your kids or any human through your bullshit to this degree. In my opinion, she's guilty to an extent simply because she is an adult. The justice system will handle the situation however it sees fit, and I'm cool with that. But I feel like this also needs to be said. Lots of people failed those babies, and they continue to fail lots of others all over and over and keep the pattern continuing by not intervening when things aren't quite right. Kind of like see something, say something, or even, see something, do something. People all over the US right now saying, oh my God, how does this even happen? Most people can't fathom, and I really wish I couldn't either. But here's my idea: generational poverty, deeply embedded trauma, mental illness, and systematic failure by other family and community members, all mixed into one big horrible mess. Maybe I'm wrong to believe this, but I think with only a couple exceptions in this particular case, like the tremendous amount of kids they had, actual living conditions these poor kids were in, and the fact that the children were basically hidden away in a 12 by 12 room. All the rest of this story, there are very similar situations all over the area, and most people turn a blind eye to it. From the child marriage to incest relationships, being entirely uneducated, living in total filth and extreme poverty. It's all pretty much normal to a lot of people. And I personally think it's almost like it's deeply embedded in the culture down there, and not just in that particular area, but lots of Appalachia and other places all over the country. I mean, people know at one point, yes, but people know now that incest and things like that is wrong. You know, um, Treadneck Alexa, good to see you. In my opinion, I think she was a victim and then has grown into the predator. Elizabeth, I'm talking about. I think it's possible. I think she's a could very well be a victim of Gary Jr. However, there's no way she at one point grew up and was taken care of and knew how to take care of herself. So for her to sit there and see her children living in that hell, I can't get around. I'll never be okay with that. I can give her grace for being depressed and having baby after baby after baby, that she's not having any time to physically, much less mentally heal from all that. But at the same time, I couldn't know that my children were living in that. Continuing with what this says, it says, y'all, it's definitely not okay or normal. I'm not condoning any of this in any way, just stating facts here. My own personal experience, for instance, in that same area, my mom was a 13-year-old child when she got pregnant with me, a 14-year-old bride, and by 17, she was a single mom of three. Her mom married at 17, and her mom, a teenager mother and wife as well. I myself was allowed to marry a 25-year-old man 4 days after my 16th birthday. It's sad, but in a lot of cracks and corners all over America. And I for real think it's from several generations of extreme poverty and deeply embedded trauma, combined with mental illness and systematic failure from other family members and people in the community. It's horribly sad to think it can still happen in today's age, but I personally think it does because of these things coming together. It seems in most situations, all too often, people are quick to laugh and talk shit, but always slow to step up and say or do something in uncomfortable situations, and that has to stop. Normalizing horrible situations and truly bizarre behavior has to stop. Turning the other cheek because we all got problems has to stop. That's the only way to truly help prevent things like this from continuing to happen, I believe. Not all of us are lucky or strong or smart enough to even start to find the tools that are needed in order to break free from generations old curses inflicted on our family by our own family and community. And the ones of us who do are extremely rare and few in between. Now, this is going to show photos of her when she was a teenager. So here she appears to be somewhat taken care of and knows how to take care of herself. But then you see this. Now, as a mother, somebody took care of her and showed her how to take care of herself. She should have done the same for her children. Poverty does not prevent one from throwing out the trash. I agree. People live in poverty every day and would never be okay with any of the things that happened in this house. Okay. So let's jump back over here and we're going to look at what they were charged with, and then we will look at the booking. Hold on just a minute. Let me get this pulled up. I have documents for all of them, but I'm just going to go over Christina Siders, the mother. Okay, here we go. So the complaint filed was on June 30th. And here is the complaint. It is endangering children, a second-degree felony, and there's 16 counts, one for each child. There is, I'd have to calculate the ages, but they range in age from 18 to 1 or 1.5. I'll let you look at this real quick. Give me just 1 second. Okay. So here are the 16 counts, I apologize, of the endangering children, a second-degree felony. Then we have the amended complaint. In the first complaint, 2 of the children were listed as John and Jane Doe. That was the 2 one-year-old twins. Here we have their initials. That was what changed on that one. Then they had their appearance in court. Let me pull this back up so y'all can see it. Sorry. Yeah, the father has got some extensive health concerns and the county could not pay for it. So the grandfather, excuse me, is out on bail being monitored with an ankle monitor because of his health conditions. So we had all the way up to what has happened. I'll read to you. On the 30th of June, they got the criminal filing fees and the complaint was filed. On July 1st, the amended complaint was filed and copies were sent to their lawyer via email. There was a request for a warrant on July 1st. There was a signature sheet signed by Benton County Sheriff's Office on July 1st. On July 1st, there was arraignment entry filed, and there was a bond of $300,000 cash surety. This is going to be also for all of them, all 4 adults. I'm just reading Elizabeth's. There was copies sent to her attorney. There was copies sent to the Benton County Sheriff's Office, and there was a copy sent to the defendant via email. Also, on July 1st, there was a memo from a court reporter that record was taken and the hearing was held and it was filed, and we've seen the hearing. On July 2nd, there was a journal entry appointing counsel filed, and that was when we found out who their attorneys were. On July 6th, Benton County Sheriff's Office received this warrant on June 30th at 16 o'clock in the 30th day of June, arrested Elizabeth Sider, signed by the Benton County Sheriff's Office. There's going to be one of those for each adult involved. There was a signature sheet signed by the Benton County Sheriff's Office on the 6th, and there was a hearing scheduled for the 7th at 1 p.m. on the 6th. On the 7th, motion for discovery was filed. Copies were sent to the attorney. Defendant's disclosure of evidence copies sent to the attorney. On the 7th, motion for bill of particulars filed. On the 7th, jury demand copy sent to her attorney. On the 7th, Benton County Sheriff's Office received this warrant on July 1st. On the 7th, state's application to appoint a special prosecutor. On the 7th, state's application to appoint a special prosecutor. On the 8th, the motion to modify bond copies. On the 8th, a waiver of time for preliminary hearings. On the 8th, an entry of appointment copies sent to PA Archer, which is the attorney. And then on the 13th, there was a notice of appearance of co-counsel, and the copies were sent to the attorney. I want to see this motion for discovery filed. I don't think we're going to get anything interesting from it, but we can look at it. So it says, now comes the defendant by and through counsel and hereby respectfully demands all discovery pursuant to Rule 16 of the Ohio Rules of Criminal Procedure and the 6th and 14th Amendments to the United States Constitution, including items that are material to the preparation of a defense or are intended for use by the prosecuting attorney as evidence at the trial or were obtained from or belonging to the defendant with the possession of reasonably available to the state, including but not limited to the following: the statement of the defendant and the co-defendant, all relevant written or recorded statements or copies thereof made by the defendant or co-defendant, including police summaries of such statements and including grand jury testimony by either defendant or co-defendant. 2, the criminal records of the defendant and the co-defendant and witnesses. A copy of defendant's prior criminal record, as well as the criminal record of any co-defendant and or witnesses associated with the instant matter that would be admissible under Rule 609 of Ohio Rules of Evidence and of a witness in the state's case in chief, or that reasonably anticipates calling as a witness in rebuttal or surrebuttal. For purposes of this request, a quote witness unquote shall include a person who has or claims to have knowledge or is believed to have knowledge concerning a fact or facts about the issues involved in this criminal action or proceeding, or about the credibility of another witness, irrespective of whether the state of Ohio intends to call such person as a witness at trial. Documents and tangible objects, all laboratory or hospital reports, books, paper, tangible objects, photographs, buildings, or places of or copies of portions subject to the criminal code. Results of examination. Okay, I'll come back and read y'all's. And test. Any results of reports or physical or mental examinations and of experiments or scientific tests made in connection with the above captioned case or copies. It's interesting. It says experiment or scientific test. Evidence favorable to the defendant. All evidence or information known or which may become known to the state of Ohio, which may be favorable to the defendant, and material to guilt or punishment, including information or evidence which could be used to obtain evidence that would diminish the credibility of any state's witness, as well as material relevant to either guilt or punishment. Quote, evidence that would diminish credibility of any state's witness includes, without limitation, plea bargains, pardons, grants of clemency, grants of immunity, informal or formal promises to speak on behalf of another in a legal proceeding, whether such accommodations have been extended on behalf of the witness or on behalf of a family member, friend, or associate of the witness. Police reports, all reports from police officers, state highway patrol. I'm going to read you the bold parts. I'll share this in chat and you guys can continue reading it. Witness statements, all written or recorded statements or copy thereof made by a witness in the state's case in chief or that reasonably anticipates calling as a witness. Witnesses' names and addresses and expert witnesses and reports. Lastly, it says respectfully, this demand is continuing in nature. If subsequent to compliance with this request, the state of Ohio discovers additional responsive materials, those materials shall promptly be transmitted to the defendant. In the event the state refuses to transmit such materials, the state of Ohio shall advise defendants of its non-compliance to allow for determination of discoverability of withheld materials pursuant to criminal code. Okay. Then as we were doing our live streams and going through this, we located some things, one of which was this gravestone. At the time, I told you guys that I didn't know if it was real or not. We looked it up. We found it on Find a Grave, and I think it was the very next day the news came out and said it was true. So Bailey Lee and Faith Lee Siders were born on November 20th of 2022, and they died the same day. Allegedly, they were extremely premature and they were born conjoined. The funeral home buried them, and this is a placard. So that's why I say we know for a fact she has given birth to 18 children. Allegedly, she had one when she was 13, which would make it 19 children. And you saw the brother's comment said 20. So I don't know where, if there was two more, um, plus the conjoined twins and then the 16 she had in the house. I don't know where the other two would be. Hopefully, they're alive somewhere and living a healthy, happy life. Just this morning, I woke up crying and calling out my cease dog Max because I dreamed I had left him behind somewhere. I'm so sorry. That's not that's not our baby, right? That's not our baby. I can't think of his name now that you said the name Max. That's not our mascot, right? Crackerjack said, work with families all my life. Nobody gets anywhere with families by judging them without all of the facts. That's true. That's true. That's not our baby. I know that's not. Rocco, thank you. Rocco, thank you. I knew it wasn't. I was like, wait a minute now. The name slipped my mind. My first thought, Abraham Wright, I sleep too much long. My first thought when I wake is my cats are hungry. My babies always came first, even when they weren't babies anymore. Absolutely. When you become a parent, you have to put your children first. It doesn't matter what you want. It doesn't matter if you want to get up and clean. It doesn't matter if you want to go to work. It doesn't matter if you want to go to the grocery store. You've got to do it for the children. The children did not ask to be here. You brought them here. You got to take care of them. Right. Yep. We do. I laid in bed and cried over my goose for 4 days. We love our children and we love our babies too. Absolutely. Absolutely. Just, it's hard to fathom, but we do need all the details of the case. All right. So now we're going to jump over to some videos and documents from booking. Let me grab Plunder's YouTube link. I'm starting to lose my voice. I got to give it a break for a minute. I felt like I could talk. So if I do lose my voice, we will have talked about this, which is important. We're going to jump over here for just a second. This is Plunder True Crime. She's so sweet. She has told me that I can use her stuff as long as I give her credit. She doesn't usually mind if you use something that she has, as long as you say it came from her. Excuse me. I have submitted a FOIA in this case, but Plunder is the world's best at getting information a lot of times before anybody else. And so on her Patreon, she put out information about the ciders. I just dropped her link in chat. If you are not subscribed, please go give her a like and subscribe. She got this information on the ciders on her Patreon, which I am a member of. So it reads 18 children for 33-year-old Elizabeth Ann Siders. Watch 7 raw Siders family booking videos that have no audio, and you can download 4 PDFs of booking files from the Southeastern Ohio Regional Jail. She wrote, here are all the Siders files below that I received from my public records request today from an Ohio attorney, Southeastern Ohio Regional Jail. There is no audio in these booking videos. There's usually not when you get them out of Ohio, but you can see them. There's 18 children for 33-year-old Elizabeth Ann Siders. So says her booking file. I had to blur the video of 73-year-old Gary on YouTube, but the raw video is below, and you'll understand why I had to blur it for YouTube when you watch the raw video below. So we'll have to be careful. Gary Jr. actually turns, smiles, and waves at someone off camera during his booking after showing the officers his tattoos, which are plentiful. Oh, so this motherfucker's got money to buy tattoos, but he can't get up off his ass and fix the damn house, pick up the damn trash. None of them have audio. Complete booking files in attachment section. There's a 28 PDF on Elizabeth, 36 PDF on Gary Jr., 27 on Gary Sr., and 14 on Christina. Videos on YouTube. And all right, we'll start with Gary. This is an 18-minute video, but I don't know that we'll watch all 18 minutes of it. Let me make sure y'all can see it. Oh, yeah, y'all can see it. Is it blurry for y'all? Let me make it big. Is it frozen? Yeah, it's frozen here. Okay, now it's not. Let me close this. It's very clear. Okay. It looks grainy on my end for some reason. So you can see him talking. Like, we're not going to watch the whole 18 minutes, but I just want to see his demeanor. I don't see any tattoos right now. So I assume he's sitting there giving the officer his information, his name, things like that. Hold on a minute. Okay, good. There's no audio. I'm just looking at his demeanor. His head is down and he just giving information. I'm going to try to skip to where we actually see him doing something. Why do these people come in? I wonder what he's talking about. Motioning. What was that? I'm trying to figure out what that hand gesture was about. What is he talking about? Like, there's a tattoo he's showing him, but he was showing him the side of his arm like this. Yeah. Sometimes you can pull it up on your TV, love. Yeah, that's what I'm trying to do. He might be talking about a... Like, he's pointing to his hand right here, but there's no tattoo. There's tattoo here. I'm wondering if he's talking about the cuffs being tight or something. Seems to be able to carry on a conversation. There's another tattoo. Like, there's a couple of tattoos. But those look like they could be like at-home tattoos. Sorry, I didn't mean to hit the mic. I think I got a fever because I'm like hot but cold. I'm thinking so. I think he's talking about the marks and what tattoos are on him. I think he might be describing a tattoo on his leg now. You know, when you go in, they like to know how many tattoos and stuff he has. Yeah, maybe if law enforcement was rough with him. Hi, Linda, listen. Good to see you. Bug bites, maybe? I don't know. I think he was talking more about the cuffs or the officers being rough with him. Like he points to tattoos, but then he points to other things that might be bug bites or marks, I guess. Some of them didn't look like they were very professional. Not that I can see very clearly. Hell, they could be, and I can't tell. I don't know. Maybe we're going to get, when we read the PDF file, we'll get a description of what tattoos he has. I know this is a very riveting, but you know, he is talking about the tattoos and kind of showing them. Did it freeze? Okay. Tread neck, Alexa said, because my tattoo, I've already spent over $1,000 and I still probably have another 500 to go. That's crazy. That must be a big tattoo. Abraham said, I know he is not complaining about handcuffs when he was living with them bugs. I know that's right. Scars, yeah. Yep, the tattoos will help identify a person. They had all mine listed. My little funky ass decided to get in trouble all them times. Okay, I think they're just talking here. Oh, so the officer's about to get up. What is he looking at? He's going to look back. He's probably looking back at Elizabeth and smiles at her. Oh, yeah. He's waving at, I bet he waved at Elizabeth and smiled at her. He doesn't appear to say anything. I love you. Yeah, that's Elizabeth he's talking to. Yep, and he's smiling at her. If he's got mental control over her to the extent that he might, I feel like he does. This just reinforced everything about their entire relationship for her, and she's going to go down for him. Well, he said he could have been waving to his mom or dad, but he did that "I love you" signal. Mm. With the brother using the term like indoctrination, I think that he may like be kind of leaning toward the radical side of things. Like people say that this one couple is on YouTube in the Krama sector. Um, they're very recluse. I think that he was like, you know, we should have children and you should be a traditional wife and we're going to be recluse and we got to prepare for the end of the world and things like that, which is okay, but it's okay to be prepared, I should say, because I myself like to be prepared. But at the same time, you have to take care of the children that you create. You have to clean your house and it don't look like they were prepared for a motherfucking thing. For as far as the end of the earth goes, quite the opposite. It looks like they were causing the end of the earth with the roaches and shit like that. You know, they can survive a damn nuclear explosion. Indoctrination is a very real thing, and it might have started out that way, but it got lost along the way. And again, it upsets me that his hands are baby soft, and it appears that he wasn't doing too much of anything. He damn sure wasn't helping her clean up the damn trash in the house or take care of them children. All right, so here he just appears to be talking. It hasn't loaded that far yet. I don't think we can read his lips. If y'all want, oh, what is that? Hold on, let's see what he talks about right here. If y'all want to go back and try to read his lips, like I said, check out Plunder. She's got it on her YouTube. Probably a man child. Most definitely a man child. What is he pointing to his head? He had some kind of brain. issues? Get hit on the head or something? Lord, like I know y'all don't have audio. Can we get some captions? Ohio Regional Jail. Damn. Plunder's amazing for getting this, but I need something. He damn sure wasn't short of food either by the look of it. Nope. I don't think he was eating that applesauce that we saw in the damn cabinet. I think he was getting a little bit more than that. All right, I'm going to move it forward. Oh, Basil is thumping. He's upset about something. Where did you go? Oh, there you are. Hey, baby. I can't pick you up right now. I wonder if we're going to see them like search him or change him out or anything. He's about to get up and go back to his cell. Like, I would, play the whole video if we could actually hear what he was saying. But since we can't hear what he's saying, I'm just kind of looking at his demeanor and his tattoos. Yeah, Ohio's saying he's crazy. He's saying he's crazy. Yeah, pointing that he ain't right at the damn head. I agree. All right. Next, we're going to do Elizabeth. She got several videos. We'll do Elizabeth's interview with the police. Look at her hair. Like, she hasn't gotten a chance to take a shower, so that's all oily hair from the house. Because once she gets back on the block, she'll get a chance to take a shower. Now, I've seen a picture of her, and we'll see this picture at some point in these videos because I'm sure it came from Plunder, and she does look like she's maybe a month or two pregnant. She's got a little bit of a belly, but I don't know. I want y'all to see it and make your minds up on if you think she's pregnant or not. The jail cannot release that. That would be a HIPAA violation, so it would be completely speculation. Yeah, if she's not bathing, and if she's not bathing herself, is she bathing the children? I can't either. I wouldn't even put my animals in that, much less my children and my family. And he did. Who is she looking at right here? I wonder if she's looking back at him. I bet she is. To see where he's at. Now she's looking at the TV. That was another thing. I didn't see any TVs in that house. I wonder if they had TVs. She coughed. Or something. Burped, maybe. Fresh air getting in them lungs. She's got that mark on her wrist right there. But it doesn't appear to go all the way around. I don't know if y'all can see that, but that bruise that we talked about on her arm, that could be from the handcuffs. Yeah. Mona Lisa, good to see you. I'm really trying to stay on her side, but she still could have been bullied and abused by all other 3 family members we don't know yet. That's true. There was one flat screen on the wall in the one room. Yeah, okay, thank you. I didn't even notice that. Really? They might have been. Those cops are having to hold their breath from the stench. God bless them. And this cop, they're upset about what they saw in that house, and they're having to be nice. I don't know if this one was that one's probably not one of the ones that was in the house, but Um, they know the case and they're having to be nice and, talk to people. She's turning all the way around. She's looking for Gary Jr., in my opinion, trying to see where he's at. So they know the case, and they have to be nice. And people come in there drunk, showing their ass, just got arrested on fucking murder charges and shit. That shit sucks. Like sitting there in the holding cells and shit and having to talk to them. It's like it takes so fucking long. Like it seems like it's a week and it's like, maybe 6 hours that you're down there. It feels like a fucking week. Looks like she's listening, like she hears somebody talking. She's trying to listen to somebody talking behind her and listen to him at the same time. Oh, I'm sorry, Mona Lisa. She doesn't. She's still skinny, though. They're saying she might be pregnant. With all the filth and roaches, I bet they all have respiratory issues. Yep. Especially the little ones. Chances are the twins were early. Yeah. From what I saw, um, I think they were premature. I think the news had stated that the twins were conjoined and premature. It was actually a newer looking flat screen, only thing in the house that looked newer and cleaner. The roaches might have gotten the other ones and tore them up. That's what I was saying earlier. How did the older kid not be made to clean or just kept the area clean for them and the little ones? Yeah. They've never had to clean or been made to clean. Why does it do that? Hold on. She's coherent and she's motioning things. She keeps looking back. I think like she's wanting him to tell her what to do or approval from him, I think. From Gary Jr. Nope, they didn't. All right, let me skip forward a little bit of this. Looked like she looked back there again. Look at her. She turned all the way around to look at him. She's having small talk with this female CO. She is trying to find Gary. They probably already moved him to the block and she can't find him. I don't know, baby. I'd have to check. I know when they get her back on the block, they're going to force her ass to take a shower. She's coughing again. Yeah, she keeps looking for Gary. Junior, not senior. Yep, and they're about to go change her out. Oh, hold on. Excuse me. I think this is where they come in. Before we watch Gary Sr. and the grandmother, we'll see this one where they come in at, I guess. I don't know I haven't looked at these myself. So he gets there, he locks his gun up because you have to lock your gun up in those little lockers. Oh shit, son. What the fuck? Bruh. Like, where's his shirt? Hold on, side chat. This guy is like, is that even like it's part of a fucking shirt. Like, you're not covering your nipples. What is the purpose of this cloth hanging around your neck, sir? Do you see this guy? Do y'all see that guy? What, can somebody please explain to me what that fucking thing he is wearing is doing, because it's not a fucking shirt. Bro, what the fuck? Look at it. Look, where's this man's shirt? Somebody get this poor man some clothes. What the fuck? It matches his hair, but damn, can he get a shirt? Son of a gun. Goodness gracious, young man. All right, we're going to scooch it. Let's only loaded that far. Okay, we're chit-chatting. We're having a talk. All right, we're helping somebody out. Oh, goodness. So this, I think it's Gary Sr., and I think they're having trouble getting him out of the thing. Try to back it up so y'all can see him. They're trying to get him out of the sheriff van. Yeah, it's called meth. He cut out most of it. I understood cutting out the sleeves, but damn, I know. I was like, Jesus. Somebody get that man a shirt. Jesus. They're trying to get Gary Sr. out, and it's looking like he's having trouble even standing up. You can see his head right here. She's calling for help. They got him in a wheelchair. I think they do have him in a wheelchair, but it looks like he's trying to stand up there. You see his head, like where he's trying to stand up? I don't know. It could be the chair's up so high and he's tall and he's like slumped over. Thought his cuffed hands were inside his shirt. If they were covering up his cuffed hands, that'd be all that damn shirt was covering up. Like, his nips was showing. What is the point? To have like I don't know, some color on your skin? Like, I think he's in a wheelchair, but I don't know if they've got him in there yet. They're trying to help him out of the van. Because now he's turned to the side, so they might be getting him a wheelchair. Somehow they're having some trouble getting Gary Sr. out of this sheriff car. I think they might have put a wheelchair back there and now he's in the wheelchair. Maybe he was in the wheelchair the whole time. Oh, no, here's the wheelchair. So they were trying to get him to walk out and he couldn't even hardly walk. So if Gary Sr. can't even hardly walk and grandma's got dementia and Elizabeth is having babies left and right, it was Gary Jr. who was basically the person that should have been taking care of the household. And he's getting public indecency charges outside of the front yard of the house. So he's a damn piece of shit. Dementia does make everything difficult. I know grandma has dementia, and dementia would not be why he's in a wheelchair, but he's got some kind of extensive medical issues. That's why he's out on bond on the ankle monitor. And he's holding his knee. See, he's got some kind of bandage on his damn shoulder. Do y'all see it right there? There's some kind of bandage, like where he got cut. He's got some kind of pajama pants on. That man is not healthy at all. He's definitely got something going on. All right, who's next out? Oh, there's Gary Jr. He's got the ankle cuffs on, which make it hard to walk. Now, granted, he got out of the back a little bit better, but he did have a little bit of trouble. So I guess the ankle cuffs is part of the reason, too. So he's wearing a nasty ass shirt, some basketball shorts. I guess Grandpa was wearing pajama pants and no shirt, and so they gave him the orange jumpsuit shirt so he'd have a shirt on. All right, who else we got? She's standing there waiting. Looked like she talked to somebody in there. Hmm. That might be all that's in there. I don't know who she's standing there with. Oh, hold on. There's got to be somebody in there for her to be standing there like that. She's watching somebody. They're going to come out in just a second. Okay. So who are they getting out? I think this might be where we can see. I think it's just the grandmother who has dementia, not the grandfather. I don't know if both of them have it. I know that the grandmother allegedly has it, but not necessarily the grandfather, that he's got some kind of medical problems. The women are brought out of the side. Okay, thank you, Cindy. Hey, Shelby. I highly doubt the county would go bankrupt dealing with the seniors' medical stuff. That's a pass the blame game, so someone else has to pay for it. Yep. And the prosecutor said as much. Yep, there's Grandma. She is wearing a shirt and she can walk. Here is Elizabeth wearing her regular clothes. Her belly looked like it was poked out just a little bit, but not much. You can't really tell. You can see a little bit. If we can't get the freeze frame that I'm looking for in order to show you guys what, I hate when it does that, what I'm talking about, I'll go to the person's YouTube channel and show you guys that way. Let me get this pulled back up. Hold on. All right. All right, so we saw them coming out of the van. This, we're going to see what this is real quick, and then we'll see Senior and Grandma. Grandma and Grandpa get their booking done. So here they stand against the wall, and they're going to take them out of their regular clothes. So they were already dressed out and everything. Okay. It looks like her belly and her chest are about the same, but she looks skinny, and it's not like she looks real pregnant or anything. If you can't see it prominently in this video, I'll pull it up on YouTube after this one before we watch the seniors. Lord have mercy, I was waiting for a bug to come crawling out of the shoes. I wonder if we see any bugs drop. Oh, Jesus. I'm going to get the heebie-jeebies if the bugs drop. Kate, Cajun Kool-Aid, I like your name. I couldn't imagine. That's wild as fuck. Yeah. If so, that means that two adults don't have mental capacity. Two, you can't charge people who don't have mental capacity. Yeah. This is the family getting booked into jail. Yep. This is Grandma and Christina. What is it? What do I not believe, love? Miss Siders, not Mrs. Siders, who said she has dementia too. Oh, Body Moving in the beginning said that Grandma had dementia, but it could be Mr. Siders. I don't know. I don't know. That was what I had heard originally. I didn't see that you had said Mr. Siders. I do believe you, love. I'm sorry. It could be him. She appears to be more coherent, so if so, if she doesn't have dementia and nothing is wrong with her, then why isn't she also helping to clean the house? That's in her name. Like the bills are in her name, which is Grandma Siders here. And the house was rented in Grandma Siders' name. So why isn't she helping to clean the house? I believe that Mr. Siders could absolutely have dementia. No bugs? Okay, good. Yeah, no excuse. Then tiny little roach too. I watched the video on Grizzly from inside the house and the bugs were everywhere. I saw that. We looked at that earlier. Yep. Oh God, I hope not. Cracker, I wasn't seeing your comments, sweetheart. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to upset you. She seems coherent and to be talking, so it probably is just him. I need to I'll have to check with the news. All right, right there. It looks like she's got a little bit of a belly. Can y'all see that? They're going to be very careful with her too if she is pregnant. Well, listen to the attorney, and I'm saying what he said. Mrs. Siders is still in custody. Okay, thank you for the correction on that. I appreciate it. Yeah, it does look a little bit like she's got a little bit of a pudge. Now that could be from food, like from eating, from having given birth to the 1-year-olds. It could be baby fat, or she could be pregnant again. They are being really careful with her. When they just pulled their hands across her, you can see more. Hold on, right there. That the shirt is laid out, yes, but this is the top of her belly. I think she might be pregnant, y'all. She wasn't in cuffs either. Mm-hmm. And they do seem to being very careful around her belly area. Yeah, I think that she could definitely have somewhat of a belly after all those births, but I think it's entirely possible considering that she had 4 sets of twins back to back and already has given birth to 18 children that she could definitely be pregnant again. It's very obvious that they weren't using any type of birth control, and the twins are 1.5 years old right now. I doubt it. That's a good question though. Yeah, so it's kind of hard to tell. She looks pregnant, but she could have, I mean, she's had 18 children, so she could have a little bit of pudge. Yeah. I'm hearing that she could allegedly be pregnant. It's just speculation. Obviously, we're not going to know that until we see later on as she continues to go to court. If her belly is just getting bigger and bigger, then we're going to know. I think it's entirely possible considering how many sets of twins and how many times she's given birth and how close they are together. But it's also entirely possible that she just has a pudge from having all those children. We're not going to know. It's a HIPAA violation for them to release that. So it is just speculation. Um, but we will know as we continue to watch the case and they continue to go to court because you'll definitely see it. If you see her belly, well, I don't know. I don't know if like actually seeing her skin on her belly would tell you either, but she's already wearing the gel slippers, so I'm assuming she was barefoot. Oh God, if she's barefoot in that house with all them fucking bugs stepping on them, I could. Oh, look at she. The bottom of her feet are looking kind of dirty. Mm, but they are being careful. The way they're talking to it, I mean, we can't hear what they're saying, but like if you're pregnant, they are extra careful, and they do look like they're being extra careful with her to me. Because if she were to miscarry, she could blame it on the jail. I wonder what they're talking about. Yeah, it did. It looked like the waist of her pants were under her belly. Yeah, definitely came from the dirty house, but I think she was barefoot, and I think they gave her shoes. Yeah, remember the Dollar General people said that they could smell them like 5 to 10 minutes after they left. Yeah, 4 sets total. There's the 2 4-year-olds, the 2 2-year-olds, and the 2 1-year-olds. And then we had the set of twins that were conjoined that passed away on November 20th of 2022. Her hair doesn't look as greasy there. That's a good point, Tread. Thank you for pointing that out. Her hair doesn't look as greasy. And it actually looks kind of dry there. So maybe she got a shower. Oh, she's crying here. Maybe it was after, like, maybe they wet her hair and gave her her shower, or maybe she had some kind of bug infestation in her hair and they treated that. Give me just 1 second. Okay. So that was where they got out of the van and came in. Now we will look at Gary Siders Sr. in the wheelchair. Did you get what you need? Okay. Do you have butter? The butter is in this refrigerator. They're getting something to go with the stuff I put in the crock pot earlier. Yeah, right there. All right. So he seems to be coherent. I don't know why he's got his wrist up on the counter sitting in his wheelchair there. We know from the watching them at the court that he appeared to be hard of hearing. They probably have BB. I read that as BBLs. They probably had the bed bugs, lice, crabs. They probably had all the bugs. I hope not. God, I hope not. I hope not. Heathen, good to see you. I'm sure they aren't making love. Junior is a two-bumper jumper. Lord have mercy. Yeah, she got out of the van like that with her clothes. Yeah, I'm thinking they gave her a shower and some clothes. Kelly said, wonder where all the adults were in the house when the cops came. They only mentioned the kids were in the room. Yeah, good question. Probably, I don't know why it does that. Sitting there was a couch that appeared to have the cushions removed. He's talking, but you can talk to people with dementia, and they'll appear to be coherent. And just because he's talking doesn't mean that he's saying anything that makes sense. We just don't know. Hey, Tom, good to see you. Just the impression I get. Abraham said, well, he must be hard of hearing, seeing, hard of smelling, because Jesus to live in that house, I know, goodness gracious. Yeah. And body odor and rotten food and diapers. And Kraken said, believe me, anyone can look coherent. Dementia doesn't make people look like, well, yeah, I talked to, there was a lady that, I don't know why it froze again. Hold on, let me unfreeze it and I'll talk to you while we continue to watch. There was a lady, she was the sweetest lady. And she lived beside me. We lived in a trailer. We back in the day, when I was not living the best life. And she just wanted somebody to talk to every day. And she would tell me the same story. She would tell me the story of how she wanted to get pregnant with her children. And then she finally did. And she thought it was the Spanish flu or something. And she was making a turkey for Thanksgiving and she got so sick and she thought it was the Spanish flu. And she found out later that she was pregnant. And she would tell me that story. And then she would, get to the end of the story and she would start over again. Um, so the only way we're going to be able to see signs of things like that from him or from the grandmother is going to be if we could hear them speaking. And we're not going to be able to hear them speaking. He is responsive and things like that, but we're not going to know about his medical issues or anything like that. And for the state with this case that's getting such national attention to say that he's going to go home so that the state can pay for his medical care and he's going to be monitored on a ankle monitor, there's some serious things going on with him. They lifted a mattress and I swear the amount of bugs that scurried is something I've never seen. I believe it. My dad has Alzheimer's. I'm so sorry, Cracker Jacks. He's in a care home now. He only wants family. I'm so sorry. Yeah. Mr. Speculating doesn't have a good sense of smell either, but he would not be having any of that shit. All right. I don't know why it keeps doing that. We'll skip ahead. I mean, I think he's just giving them his information in the wheelchair. Like I said earlier, we know he's hard of hearing. He didn't gather much from his initial appearance. The guy gets up and I guess goes to get something and then comes back and continues talking. Remember when Gary Siders Jr. was telling the grandpa, what was said in court, trying to ask him the questions and get him to respond and things, and he just wasn't, definitely hard of hearing. He wasn't really responsive to the judge. He just kind of motioned when Gary Jr. talked to him.
Yeah, that piano.
Yeah, I think, well, he is at home and being monitored by an ankle monitor, but I don't know if he's going to live to see the end of this case. Not to be, morbid or anything, but with all these health issues, I think they want to make sure that he is held accountable to the best extent that they have. So they're going to do everything they can to keep him alive. But then you have the question of since he's got Alzheimer's and all these health issues, what exactly can you hold him accountable for? His wife, she doesn't have Alzheimer's. There's nothing that appears to be wrong with her. So why wasn't she cleaning? Like all the bills and shit were in her name. Why isn't she doing anything and cleaning? He came back with fingerprint paperwork just now. Thank you. So he put his paperwork up and then they're going to move him to a cell where that's handicap accessible. Well, I don't know. Obviously not at the same house, because if he was at the same house, then we wouldn't have the pictures and videos that we have. Like, they've got that house quarantined. So maybe not technically at home. Maybe he's in some kind of healthcare facility or at the hospital. I know, actually, remember they said he fell on the way to court, for the second, I guess the preliminary or the second time they went to court. He fell, and that's when they took him to the hospital. So he might still be in the hospital, but I'm assuming that house, they're not going back there. Kraka said you can't hold him accountable without medical capacity to. My sister has a power of attorney for him. Oh, somebody in your family? My dad recognizes me, but his cognitive score is 0. Test or what confirms it. I'm so sorry. Abraham said, I take a lot of pride in how clean I am. Stuff like this offends me. When you have children in the house, the kids have no other option if you don't clean. Exactly. Exactly. Those children did not ask to be in that house, in that messy ass house like that, living like that. You brought them into this world. You need to do what you're supposed to do as a fucking parent to make sure that they have clothes, that they are fed, that they have a place to sleep, and that they are taken care of. I get that she might have been depressed, but to not even go in there and teach the oldest one how to write their name and the youngest ones how to speak, how do they communicate? Like, you can't tell me that you couldn't take, a couple of minutes during the day to teach them at least how to speak. And if she can read and write, which it looks like she could because she was in high school, those pictures are her from high school, you know, um, she should have taught them how to speak and write too. Why would you not want that for your children? Like, at some point, would you not say, this motherfucker keeps getting me pregnant and is not doing a fucking thing to help take care of me or the kids, so I've got to leave? Good to see you, Max. Get my children out of here and get them healthy and taken care of, Someone becomes mentally capacitated again, what do? They just drop the charges? I I don't know. That's a good question. I wonder what they would do in this case specifically. Like, I don't think they would just drop the charges, but I don't know. And it might depend on how long his cognitive score was at 0, if it is at 0. Hold on a minute. Hold on, y'all. Just back out. Just fucking hit the shit out of me. Okay. No, the 18-year-olds I mean, the children have not been in school, from what I understand. I want to know what they're explaining with the hands. Like, because I think they're just getting basic information, like, are you on any drugs? What's your name? What's your social security number? How old are you? What's your height? What's your weight? Have you had any previous charges? If he's that mentally declined, they can't move forward with him. Interesting. Abraham said, well, if he's not mentally capable to go to trial, they can't really do much but keep him in an institution. Okay, that makes sense. Yeah. It's not Mr. Siders who has 0 cognition. It's my dad recognizes me. I'm confusing. No, 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 you're good. I'm thinking if he is at that point, and I'm sorry I didn't make that clear. I'm sorry about your dad and everything you have going on. I'm wondering if he is at that stage as well, like to where he has 0 cognition, if he could be held accountable. And Abraham pointed out that he would probably just be institutionalized for, an extensive period of time. Um, I'm assuming the rest of his life, if he's not able to be held accountable for these charges and things. She doesn't appear to be looking back at any of them or anything either. But see, keep in mind that Gary Siders Jr. is their son, and they're allowing him to live in that house and not do a fucking thing to help take care of anything. They ask what year it is, who's the president, etc. Yeah, to see if he's cognitively there. What is that? All right, she's just, sitting there talking to them. Oh, Elizabeth comes from around the corner there at the end. We can watch that. And her hair is wet now, so maybe they gave her a shower. I'm wondering if she. I mean, I'm not trying to make the situation sound worse than it is, but I'm wondering if they told her to take a shower or if she had some kind of bug infestation. Her hair appears to be wet too, so they might have just gotten out of the shower or something. And it ends right there with Elizabeth walking past, going to her cell, and then the grandmother sitting in the chair. If he's not mentally well, how could they even institutionalize him? He would need to be in a nursing home. True. They would hold a competency hearing. Yep. The classic one said if the defendant is ruled incompetent to stand trial, the criminal case proceedings will be suspended and the court can take one of several courses of action. So we'll go ahead and pull it up real quick before we get into the documents. All right. So I said in Ohio, if a person isn't mentally capable to stand trial, what happens to that individual? In Ohio, if a court determines that a defendant is not competent to stand trial, the individual cannot be tried or convicted until they regain competency. Competency means the person must understand the nature and objectives of the proceeding and be able to assist in their own defense. The defense or prosecution or court can raise competency at any time before or during trial. If raised before trial, a hearing must occur. If after trial, the court may hold one, quote, if good cause, unquote, is shown. The court order hearing and evaluation, the court orders a mental health evaluation, typically before a forensic psychiatrist or psychologist, to assess the defendant's present mental condition. The burden of proof. The court must find incompetence by preponderance of the evidence. If the court finds incompetence, it can order treatment. If there's a substantial probability the defendant will become competent within a set time frame, often 1 year, with treatment, the court must order treatment. Continuing evaluation. If the court cannot determine the likelihood of regaining competency within the time frame, it may order up to 4 months of continuing evaluation and treatment to assess that likelihood. Medication authorization. If the defendant is on psychotropic drugs, the court may authorize continued use to maintain competence unless the attending physician advises against it. Key points, not the same as insanity. Competency is about the defendant's present mental condition and ability to participate in trial, not about whether they were insane at the time of the offense. Appealability. Orders requiring inpatient competency restoration treatment are final appealable orders, or other orders may be subject to review under Ohio's appellate rules. Goal. The process aims to restore the defendant's ability to understand and assist in their defense, ensuring fair trial rights under the Sixth Amendment. In short, if found incompetent in Ohio, the defendant will not be tried until the court orders the defendant undergoes treatment or evaluation to regain competency, with the court monitoring progress to ensure they can participate meaningfully in their defense. Okay. In Ohio. Okay, so I said if the person isn't mentally capable because of Alzheimer's, and will never regain competency to stand trial. What happens to the individual? Okay, let me see what y'all are saying real quick. Dementia is horrible. I work with those with dementia and other mental health issues. I'm so sorry, Hannah. It is very difficult. I couldn't imagine that. Cracker Jacks. Cracker Jack said it's very difficult. My dad was so intelligent. We've lost him, but he's still here. I can't imagine. That's got to be so hard. Yeah. I just had the experience with my neighbor, and I would just sit there and listen to her every single time that she would tell me the same story and act like I'd never heard it before because she doesn't realize. Okay, so it says what happens in Ohio. A person with Alzheimer's can never be competent to stand trial. If a person in Ohio with Alzheimer's disease is found incompetent to stand trial and the court determines that there is no substantial probability that they will ever regain competency, the law provides specific options. Under the code, after the maximum treatment period expires or after the court finds no likelihood of future competence, one of two main outcomes can occur. Civil commitment to probate court. The court or prosecutor can file an affidavit in probate court to seek civil commitment under chapter of the revised code. The defendant may be detained for up to 10 days pending commitment. Once committed, the person is placed in a facility or program under court order, and the prosecutor must receive certain notices about the defendant's status and treatment. Two is retention of criminal jurisdiction. The prosecutor or the court on its own motion can retain jurisdiction if the court finds by clear and convincing evidence the person committed the offense charged and the person has a mental illness or intellectual disability that makes them subject to court order or institutionalization. The court may consider psychiatric, psychological, medical testimony, the offense acts, and the person's history when making this determination. Key points for Alzheimer's cases. Alzheimer's is a severe mental disease or defect under Ohio law, which can meet the mental illness or intellectual disability criteria for both civil commitment and retention of jurisdiction. If the person is committed, they are not released to the community without supervision, quote, non-secured status, unquote, unsupervised off-grounds movement or trial visits is limited and conditional. The goal is to ensure public safety and to provide treatment, but the person remains under some form of legal control. In summary, if a person with Alzheimer's in Ohio is found permanently incompetent to stand trial, the court can either commit them to a facility under civil commitment or keep them under criminal jurisdiction if they meet the mental illness or intellectual disability criteria. Both options keep them under court supervision and in a treatment or institutional setting. So regardless, he will always be in a treatment or institutionalized style setting, is what I gather from that, which is probably going to happen regardless. All right, we've seen that. Oh, okay. Let me go ahead and download these. I will add them to my Patreon too, if you're a member there. I know that I've been saying that I'm going to put stuff on Patreon and I haven't yet. I swear to you, like, I genuinely, if I have to sit here in the morning for 3 hours, I will get this and Seth Rogers and everything else that I have on Patreon. Those of you that are on my Patreon, I sincerely apologize. It's summer. We've been sick. I've been taking the kids. If I don't like, if we're not doing something and we like, which we have been doing appointments or swimming every other day, but if I don't take them swimming like every other day, then they're literally trying to fight each other. So I have to keep them busy. And so I apologize about not having the ability to come live as often as I usually would or as I would like to, but it's genuinely because I have kids that, it's summer, and if they sit here for too long, it's not good, y'all. So when they start school back, which is the beginning of August, things should get back on a normal note, but I am trying to do better. The classic one said, yes, they'll both be placed in a facility for life, most likely. Yeah, it would be. I agree. All right, this is Elizabeth Sider. She's redacted. So I don't know if that looks like the police redacted some things. So she is a white female. She's 5'2". She weighs 150 pounds. Her eyes are hazel and her hair is black. She was born in Ohio on August 24th of 1992. This is a felony. She knows how to sign her name in cursive because that's her signature right there. So considering that she knows how to sign her name in cursive, she could have been teaching them children how to fucking speak or write their name. Like, you know how to sign your name in cursive? That's some bullshit. You can't tell, but you could sit in that damn room with the children at some point and teach them. So we have the same number. Her booking number is 21496. She is not a county resident. Her birthplace was Galipolis. Okay, it's Gallipolis. I'm not even going to try it because 15 people will be like trying to tell me how to say it. I'm sorry. She is married. She has 18 children. So that would be the 16 they found, and then the 2 that were conjoined that passed away the day they were born, I'm assuming. So I don't know what this rumor is about her having a child at 13, but at this point during the booking, she's not claiming that, and they're not saying that. She's never been in the military, and she's housed on Block 6. Okay. So there was no alcohol, no phone calls, no NCIC check, no physical education. Local check, they did do a local check. No civil process, no resist, no physical exam, and no jail rules. And then there's her counts. There's going to be the 16 charges of child endangerment. It looks like each one of them is a $100,000 bond. Or it could be the $300,000 secured bond, but at this point in time, it was only $100,000, and they upped it to $300,000 secured bond. There, she signed her name. I hereby state that I will follow the rules of this jail as provided in the inmate handbook. You know, if she gets out after being in jail and like being able to take showers, and them girls in there ain't gonna put up with you stinking and shit. They will be like, bitch, take your ass and wash it. Wash your ass, wash your hair. Here's some soap. Here's some fucking, go take care of yourself. And she gets out eventually, and she gets handed back her property and smells it. I would be surprised if she don't just throw it away at that point. Hey, Kalisa Katz, good to see you. Kalisa said her older kids could read and write. The police thought the oldest couldn't write her name because all of their names had weird spellings, like Chloe and Bailey. Ah, thank you for that. It makes sense. I mean, because they had a Snapchat. She gave a child up for adoption. They wouldn't add that child to seeing as to the adopted parents are the legal parents. That's true. It doesn't make me sad. I wonder. It does make me sad. I wonder about the early narrative that was being put out by the DA, whoever it was. Yeah, even her attorney got upset about them saying that it was, I don't know, not even fit for livestock. So she waived on the record the right to be physically present. Oh, we've read this. The amount was a $300,000 cash bond. And she was ordered to not have contacts with co-defendants or alleged victims and GPS monitoring if she was released. We read that. So what is this? That's just listing the charges. Her bond amount was $100,000 at this point, but then it goes to $300,000 after she goes to court. She was not under the influence of drugs and alcohol. There was no known medical or mental health risk. And it says currently pregnant or postpartum is no. So I'm assuming that she's not pregnant because this is for Elizabeth Siders. So that might answer our question right there. Unless she's denying being pregnant and they find out later that she's pregnant. But right here, currently pregnant or postpartum, no is circled. Use of less lethal upon arrest, no. Inmate suicidal, no. She was not under the influence of alcohol and drugs, and there was no known medical or health risk. We'll have to see if that's changed on any of the other paperwork where we know there's medical issues. If it says no, then they just might not have asked. State of Ohio versus Elizabeth Sider, sorry. When submitting case documents to court, filing case document, the clerk of court, a party to a judicial action or proceeding shall omit personal identifiers from the document pursuant to the rules. Personal identifiers mean social security number, except for last 4 digits, financial account numbers, employee, juvenile's name in an abuse, neglect, or dependency case, except for their abbreviation. So, I mean, that just says her name. We command, that's the warrant for her arrest for Elizabeth Siders. The complaint alleges that she endangered. Yeah, this is just the charges that we've already read. 17 charges. That's, I mean, these are court documents that we've already talked about. This is the amended complaint because remember the 2 1-year-olds were John Doe and Jane Doe, and then they got their names and changed it, and that was why we had the amended charges sheet. Her bond amount here is $300,000, cash or surety, GPS if bonded. That just tells us that she's a white female and her date of birth. By submitting financial disclosure form. Okay, so this is where she signed the paperwork to ask for an attorney. All right, so that was Elizabeth. Here is Christina, which is grandmother. She can sign her name in cursive. There's her photo. She was born August 13th of 1958. She is 67 years old. She is married. She has 5 children. She was not in the military. She was born in, I'm assuming, Galliapis or whatever, Ohio. She's housed in Unit A1. She's a white female with blonde hair and blue eyes, 5'1", 140 pounds. And then it gives all of her charges, just like the other one. She gets out. I bet she throws her shit away too. Same documents. And all of the endangering the children charges. We don't have her vitals. That's the warrant. That's the paperwork from court saying that she has a $3,000 cash or surety bond, no contact with the defendants or the alleged victims, GPS monitoring. The charge is $300,000 cash surety bond, and that's about it. We didn't get the medical sheet for her other than this blank COVID-19 screening that was not filled out. Where was it at? Here. But there was no under the influence checked or anything either, so I don't know. That's interesting. Those are a lot of charges. She's going to do time for either all or some of them. Yeah, I think that they'll end up taking a plea deal and probably only answer for some of the charges. They'll take some of the charges away and they'll plead to the rest. That's honestly what I think is going to happen here, if I'm being honest. But for me, the issue is Gary Siders Jr. Because again, he's in that house. He got the indecency charges for showing his manhood outside of the damn house. She's got some kind of fucking postpartum depression going on, which doesn't excuse her from everything. But Gary Siders Jr. should have done more for his household and to help her, the mother of his children. Like I said, if Mr. Speculating works 60 to 70 hours a week, and if he came home and the house looked a quarter as bad as that did, he'd be like, ma'am, you are here all day. I understand that you take care of the children, but I need you to clean this house up. I don't understand what's going on, and we're not living like this. So I need you to get to cleaning, or you need to let me help you clean, or let the kids help you clean. Hold on just a second. All right. So this is for Gary Siders Sr. He is a white male that is 5'11". He weighs 165 pounds with hazel eyes and white hair. He is married. He has 5 children. He too was born in Ohio. He is housed in Unit Block 1. He is not Hispanic. He is a white male with white hair and hazel eyes. He had, it says an N for facial hair, but he appeared to have that. He's 135 pounds and he's 5'11". He didn't look like 135 pounds to me. Okay. That's the charges. 300,000 cash surety bond. PJ pants, gel issued top shorts, belt with buckle, gel issued sandals, flashlight, battery, wallet, playing cards, and a lighter and a knife was what they got from him. I don't know why we have that for him, but not the others. That's court documents. No alcohol, no phone calls, no NCIC check, no physical education. They did a local check, no civil process, no resist, no physical exam, no jail rules. But they signed the jail rules sheet. That's all the documents from court. And we have the COVID thing that's blank. That's his warrant. And then here's the charges. We don't have a medical evaluation on him, it looks like. Personal identifiers. Oh, that's the thing we read earlier saying that it won't give out the social security number. I'm assuming there was some medical things going on with them, and that's why we're not getting these. I don't know if they put that out about her to let everybody know that she's not pregnant, or make it seem like she wasn't pregnant, or because she had no medical issues and they weren't aware when they filled out that paper that she's pregnant. As of right now, I'm going to say that the booking says that she's not pregnant, so she's not pregnant. This is Gary Siders Jr., and he did not sign his name in cursive. That is the handwriting of a very young child, it looks like, and we know he's not a very young child. Somebody said he might have had some kind of mental incapacities. So I don't know. Maybe he does. So he is a white male that's 5'11", 215 pounds. He has blue eyes, and black hair. They were all born in Gallipolis, Ohio. Number of children is 16. He's married. See here, it says 16, but hers said 18 because it included the 2 twins that were conjoined that were born early. So I'm not quite understanding. Yeah, Virginia, they might have not gotten the result back. Hey, Rubber. Oh, yeah, there's a lot of drama going on. Why was he not sending them kids to school? How do you justify that? Great question. Great question. Kalisa said this family needed help desperately. 2 disabled seniors who couldn't even care for themselves and 16 kids, 4 babies. How can we be criminalizing poverty and medical issues? You can be in poverty and keep your house a little bit better than that. You know, just because you're impoverished doesn't mean you have to live, nasty. Yep. Child welfare authorities have a lot to answer for too, if they were aware. All right, so everything is pretty much the same about him. He is a white male, non-Hispanic. He has black hair, blue eyes. He has a beard and mustache. He is 5'11", 215 pounds. So his tattoos on his right arm is a heart with names and a heart with a sword. Considering that he married her when he was 18 and she was 15, I'm assuming the heart with names is their names. And then there's a heart with a sword On the left arm, there is a heart and a cross, and on the left arm, there is a heart. On the left arm, there's actually several. So, okay, let me read it like this. On his right arm, he has a heart with names. I'm assuming that's his name and Elizabeth's name. And then there's a heart with a sword. On his left arm, he has a heart and a cross, another heart, another cross, a heart with flames around that cross or near that cross. And then there is a block on the left arm. On the right leg, he has a heart with a smiley face and a cross with a cross and TL. And then on the left leg, he has outlaw and a peace sign and a heart with lines. If I had to assume, I'd say they were all done at home, probably by him playing around, giving himself tattoos, I guess. He is held on his charges. Everything else is the same. There's all of his charges. Look at his signatures. So he had his shorts, a t-shirt, and jail-issued sandals. So he's got the public indecency charge times 4 and the child endangerment, which is 16. Under the influence or use of alcohol and drugs, yes, was circled for him. There's no known medical hit or health risk. No, he's not currently pregnant. He was not suicidal, and there was no use of less lethal upon arrest. So they didn't tase him or anything like that. I wonder what drugs or alcohol he's under the influence for. And is that the reason he's got the 4 fucking indecent exposure charges? Was it fucking drugs? Was it fucking alcohol? Was he out there doing some crazy shit in his front fucking yard because he's high as fuck on drugs? Kalisa said, we don't know what would happen if she asked for help. Did dad threaten to harm the kids if she reached out to anyone? Was she scared they would get taken away? I imagine she was scared that they would get taken away. And the Dollar General people said that when they would go to Dollar General together, he would always stay really close to her and like hold her hand and keep her very close to him. Abraham said, I understand that I am not a father and I cannot speak on behalf of a parent, but at some point you care and love for those children has to supersede that harm that may come to you. I agree. I can see it kind of from both sides, like her being scared that they're going to get taken away. And if he has got some kind of, obviously he's got some kind of control over her and she's afraid of him or feels like that she can't do anything or whatever. So that would make her scared. But at the same time, you've got to do something for those children. So I can see it from both sides. Like, how can you as a mother look at those children suffering like that and not do something? But also, if she did do something, would they get taken away? Would she go to jail? What would happen between her and him? Because that's, all she'd ever known other than her parents. Because she got married to him when she was so young. This is stating that he's got an attorney and that it's been assigned for a pretrial on the 9th of July at 10:45, which I don't think they videotaped. We saw the prosecutor talking about it, but that was about it. We got the information from the prosecutor there. That's the list of charges. That's the document from court. He's indigent, so he got an attorney from the court. They continued the pretrial for July 9th. These are all just court documents. Proposed entry granting the defendant's request for a continuance. Okay, so the 4 public indecency charges, $250 fine and cost, 30 days in jail probation, same. I can't see it. I guess it's July 1st, but I would think that this is when he went. Oh, this is okay. So they're going over the charges with him, and then the possible punishment is a $250 fine plus court cost and 30 days in jail probation. There's a $5,000 cash or surety bond, and he pled not guilty. Other orders was to vacate the warrant and to schedule the pretrial for July 9th at 10:45 a.m., which has been moved again. And this is the $5,000 for the indecency charges. And here's those paperworks. One was May 23rd, that Gary Siders did recklessly expose his private parts under circumstances in which his conduct was likely to be viewed by and affront others who are in Gary Siders' physical proximity and who are not members of his household in violation of the code. He got one of those for May 23rd, one for May 27th, one for May 29th, and one for May 31st. So what was he doing outside, waving his thing around or something on all those days? This is the warrant. Oh, that's the identifiers saying that we can't release identifiers. And this just tells us his date of birth is 9/28/89 and that he is a male or whatever. And then that is his signature of saying that he got the rules from jail. So that was the documents that we had. That's what I've got so far. We can do another live on this and go over things from the news up until this point, but I'm probably going to end it here. We've been going for 2.5 hours and my kids are like, ready for bed. They've done made some peas to go with dinner and they're eating. So I've got to go in there. And I gotta go take care of the children and take care of Basil and get everybody ready for bed. I want to read a couple of y'all's comments. Kelly said I can also see her maybe being in this with him and honestly his co-conspirator, and they enable each other and we just don't know yet without hearing what all they have said for themselves. And that's true. You could see the way that they were looking at each other in the jail, in the booking videos. They were looking for each other. He was telling her he loved her. I'm wondering what's going to happen when she gets away from him for a while. Come here. I'm going to sit in my lap. Rubber said, Abraham, I'm not trying to push back, but we have to think of everyone's trauma. We don't have a grand jury indictment yet, and that's what I'm waiting on. Yeah. No matter what we would do if we are not in their situation, and I'm reserving judgment as I was trained to do until the facts are out here. And I don't blame you. But the basic needs were not met, and I can agree with that too. I don't think Elizabeth or Junior is getting out anytime soon. They're probably going to be spending life in prison, honestly. Yeah, probably a very, very fucking long time if it's not life in prison. I agree with that, Cracker Jacks. It was wrong to call them evil and demonic. That's a judgment already made, and it doesn't allow for a fair trial. And I think that that's why it was important to get special prosecutors to come in. I'm concerned about the children too, and I hope that they are able to overcome as well. And hopefully they will with extensive therapy for all the trauma. Yeah, that's true. The Turpin parents are not getting out anytime soon. Here's your Basil Cam for the night. Him such a fat rabbit. He's going to get mad at me in a minute. I have to put him down. There's your Basil Cam for tonight. All right, y'all. I'm going to have to go for the night so I can get everybody taken care of and get the geese put up and stuff like that. I will continue to go over this case with you guys and keep you guys as informed as I can. I know that I wasn't able to go live a lot this week. And I apologize for that. I am going to try to go live more this week. We have classes Monday, Wednesday, and Friday night of this week. So hopefully I will see y'all again Tuesday. Tomorrow I'm going to work on getting a bunch of documents uploaded to the Patreon so that you guys have that. So I hope to see y'all again on Tuesday. So let's plan on that. If I can't come live Tuesday, I will make a post. But I'm going to do everything in my power to come live Tuesday afternoon or Tuesday evening. And I appreciate y'all hanging out with me as we talked about this case and everything so far. And I appreciate y'all sharing your thoughts, opinions, and speculations with me. And I hope y'all have a wonderful evening. Yeah, it was good to see you again too. And thank you to my moderators for being here. You guys are amazing. I hope you stay safe too, Max. All right, y'all, until next time, bye. Stay safe out there. As Abella says, it's an order. Bye.